You make my head hurt with this
I
shit.
know. I know.
I think JFK and RFK. I think they were. Um, that was the mob. That was the Giancana family. I really do believe that the Giancana family was pissed off that they got JFK elected because of the. Now, what a lot of people don't know about Atlantic City is that that was a safe zone for mafia guys. If you were vacationing in Atlantic City, you couldn't get hit. I mean, it was a safe zone.
Really? I've never heard of that. It was like Switzerland.
Yeah, Al Capone would be there with Lucky Luciano, and they weren't real friendly, but they couldn't do anything.
Wow.
And that they had some productive mafia meetings, I guess.
And that was before like the Council of the Mafia got formed, right?
It was right around the time Luciano was starting to come up with
He
that.
put it all together, right?
But back in the 20s, 30s, it was just Atlantic City was wild.
Yeah.
It still has its darkness as far as some of that stuff goes, but not the way it used to.
It used to be really
Not
at the
the way it
tops,
used to
yeah.
be.
And Arnold Rothstein too was right up in New York, and then he'd come down to Atlantic City to gamble, and it's a really happening place.
I got banned from the Summers Point, New Jersey Wawa for 1 year. And the reason is they used to have dollar coffee days. And the promotion said any size coffee, not any size cup of coffee, any size.
Oh, yeah.
So I went in and I bought a box, the 12-cup box,
Shit.
and went and paid for $1.
I need $1.
And they called the headquarters. They said, yeah, you have to sell it to him because he's right. We didn't limit it to 24 ounces,
Damn.
4 cups. It just
Dude,
says
hit him with the
size.
gypsy
Yeah.
bro.
It's a size.
Let's go.
That's
I looked up on the phone. A box is considered a size. You have different size boxes. It's a size. So yeah, and then they banned it.
I like small size boxes, dude. You know what I'm saying? It starts with Wilcox from Ancient Aliens, known for metaphysical UFO claims. Every time he goes quiet, people are like, oh, did he get killed? Is he dead? So his silence becomes the spark that supposedly told people that he had found a pattern. He figured something out. Then he makes that elusive video saying, hey, totally fine, not gonna myself. 2 days later, this guy himself.
You make my head hurt with this
I
shit.
know. I know.
Dude, some guests come on Comedy Corner once. A rare few survived the autopsy, but there's only a couple men that can walk back into this room and act like they have diplomatic immunity from the Grim Reaper. So look, straight out of the New York area, where the Rats, politicians, and Joe Straka Jr. all share the same unkillable DNA, this man has now cheated death, logic, and our algorithm twice, dude. So tonight he returns to this lab not as a victim, but as a repeat offender. So ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Joe Straka Jr.
When we were talking before about the conspiracy theories and all, the one that I forgot to mention, I've been thinking about this, I'm glad we're back on this, is that Blue Origin fiasco.
Oh yeah, dude.
They never went to space, and when the capsule landed, they were opening the door from the inside, which isn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, no. If you watch it, you see the door open, then you see Bezos go like, "Hold on," and he goes and gets this huge wrench and acts like he's opened it.
Yeah.
Like it was already open, dude. And there's also like a weird thing where Katy Perry is like holding up the flower, and it's like literally like an Ishtar ritual, dude. I mean, if you look into this stuff, and I don't know if like everything is just, if now you can just make connections to everything because everybody knows so much, or if this is literally like that's why they were doing it, but you can make anything line up if you try hard enough, man.
Well, I think that was, it's almost like they
What
were
do you
trying
think?
to
You
say,
think they
hey,
really
we
went?
didn't do this, but pretend that we did.
Well,
But-
what do you think about the Artemis thing? Do you think, because there's a lot of people that don't believe that at all either.
I'm reading a lot of stuff where people are questioning, again, listen.
Dude, I
I went
black-pilled
to
you,
school
bro.
for
I
accounting, not
black-pilled you on the
aerospace
last
engineering.
podcast.
But, you got to read some of this stuff and at least give it some thought, and sit there and say, listen, I'm not gonna say it happens for sure. I'm not gonna say it didn't happen, but there's a lot of arguments, discrepancies, things. I mean, things that they picked up. I mean, now we have so much more technology at our disposal to question things. Back in '67, we didn't have anything to question. We just saw black and white, grainy black and white television transmissions.
You had to take Von Braun's word for it, and then wait for 2001: Space Odyssey to come out to figure out the truth, bro. You know what I mean? The Kubrick. What do you think about Kubrick? You a fan of Kubrick? Do you think he was?
About this before on oh, definitely a fan.
It's hard not to be a fan, dude. I mean, he hasn't made a bad movie.
No, but the last time I was there, you were talking about all the stuff when they made that Eyes Wide Shut, and then he died soon after because he exposed a lot of inside things that we're not supposed to be aware of. So it's there's a lot of shit going on. Listen,
dude, my buddy William Ramsey has literally made like a 20 episode podcast extension just about like the Eyes Wide, like the whole Eyes Wide Shut thing. Yeah, where like that's literally it's Kubrick telling us, hey, here's the Epstein files before you guys get them, dude. This is what's going on, and literally, but he keeps coming up with new, like, the more you watch the stuff, and literally it's like what I just said, the more patterns you find. And then I don't know if it's just like if you're just being schizophrenic inside of the conspiracy theory, or if it's like real stuff. I mean, a lot of people start breaking it down. Like when you can't find the real connections, then it goes to like gematria, numerology, and then I'm like, that's where you start losing me. Is like with all the number bullshit. Like I just want to know like straight facts, dude. You know what I mean? Like Jolly West, the MK Ultra psychiatrist, was on the set of 2001: Space Odyssey. There's pictures of him on there, which that right there opens up a whole bunch of questions, dude. A whole new box of shit.
But we weren't supposed to put that stuff together. We weren't supposed to.
No, and you're also not supposed to know that the last person that Jack Ruby saw before he was committed insane was the same Jolly West. You know what I mean?
That's.
I mean, at some point you can draw a string that connects Iran-Contra, JFK, Epstein, the war in Iran. Like all of it is literally just off this one thread that maybe the first Bush started.
Well, the current war in Iran, and this is so blatant. I just can't believe they're talking about it. Is Barron Trump made like $50 million on an oil trade. Now he's just a smart kid, right?
No, he's from the future, bro.
It's like.
Have you seen that one, the Barron Trump Time Traveler?
No.
Oh, that's wild, dude. There's like a book that was written like either late 1800s, early, I think maybe 1904, and it's literally like it's Barron Trump, the time traveling rich kid, lived in a palace. Just like a wild connection. And then if you run that thing through ChatGPT, dude, it'll send you down a rabbit hole that'll take you like rehab to get out of. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it's interesting, man. The internet is so good and so bad.
Yeah, listen, we have access to information. You have to really scrutinize what's true, what's not true, what's iffy. I'm on the internet on Facebook, and everybody's talking about
as us boomers do, bro.
I'm sorry.
I said as us boomers do. They call me a boomer, dude. In the comedy circle, like I'm sort of an old head, which is wild.
I'm a senior citizen. I mean, all the younger comics around here refer to me as old man. Hey, old man. So, but I don't mind. I am an old man. I just turned 65 last week. So,
yeah, dude. Let's go.
I can't deny that I'm an old man. I am an old man, but I'm having fun doing stand-up, living life, traveling back and forth from New Jersey to Florida. Wish I was there right now, man. It's freezing here. May 3rd, it's like 49 degrees with the wind chill.
It's about 84 outside right
now.
here.
Yeah, I know. Tina already told me. He's still
Yeah,
down there. He's not
dude,
coming up to the end of
my
the
son
month.
went to the Rays game today. They won in extra innings. He went with the grandparents.
Okay.
Just that was cool. But it's like out. It could have been played outdoors, but they have dome field advantage is what they call them because they play
Okay.
inside the trop. Dome field. I thought that was funny. I'm like,
Dome field. Yeah.
that's almost explicit, isn't it? Anyways, what are you? I think we talked about this. You're a
Phillies.
Philly guy.
I'm
You're
South
a
Jersey. Yeah,
New
Federal
York
Fund.
area guy that likes Philly, dude.
We're-
Those
we're-
almost like counteract each other. It makes me not hate you at all.
Well, we're watching the Flyers. I mean, they got their butts kicked last night. They didn't even look like they showed up last night. But I mean, if they make it to the finals, I don't know how the brackets are, but it would be hilarious if it was the Flyers versus your guys, Tampa Bay.
Dude, I mean, if Tampa wins tonight, this will cap one of the greatest weekends that I've ever had, I think. Friday night, they had that insane victory, the 0-0 going into overtime, which is insane nowadays. We won a flag football game against like the best team in the league. I coached my son's flag football, so that was like huge. He scored a touchdown. I was fucking pumped. And then he went to the game. They won extra innings. If we win tonight, this could be like, if you take out the Super Bowls, this could be like top 5 Tampa Bay weekends for me, dude.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and this is Jake. This is my
Howdy,
co-host,
Jeff.
Jacob
How you doing?
Englander.
Hey, how are you?
How's it going?
We did a private show yesterday, man. It was a housewarming party. But you should have seen the flyer, dude. It was like they had a DJ, live dancing, music, big screen TV to watch the Derby on, a walk around magician, masseuse, cold plunge, sauna, hot tub, darts, smoked meats, regular foods, just a table full of more chocolates than I've ever seen in my life. And then like a comedian set with him and I, he went 30, I did 20. We had a guy open up for us. The dude overpaid us by twice. You know what I mean? Like tipped us afterwards. It was sick,
crazy
dude. It was
night.
And the chocolate.
and it was a sober event, dude. After we left, they did a fucking 12-step meeting.
Yeah. I never had a show like that.
It was wild. I mean, you have to have all those activities to make up for the drinking. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true. You can either have alcohol or you can have an ice bath and a cold plunge you're right. You need so many things just to fill in for booze.
Did
dude.
you guys do the ice
I
plunge?
wanted to. But I
no,
didn't.
no. It rained for the first time in a month yesterday, and just
Well, you need the
downpoured
water,
the whole thing.
But still,
So-
that's the cold plunge. See, in Florida, it's probably easier. In Jersey, they do it at my gym. And they tried to get me in, and I put my leg in, and I screamed like a little girl. There's a video of this. I'm screaming like a little girl, and I took my leg out. And they said, well, did you get anything out of it? I said, yeah. I now know what it felt like for the people on the Titanic that didn't make it to the lifeboats, because that water's cold. That water's cold.
Yeah.
Have you ever
And-
seen the Joe Rogan post where it's just like him talking himself into getting into the cold plunge? And
No.
he literally has to cuss himself out. He's like, "Stop being a little bitch. Stop being a pussy. You're fucking gay. Get in." And he like gets in.
I'm a pussy. I'm a little bit. What got? It wasn't even the temperature. It's just the way it feels like the pressure. It feels like there's like a vice on your body. And I'm 65. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt. They said, well, if you do this for like 2 minutes, you won't hurt. Well, I hurt doing it for 2 minutes. So let's just say I'll deal with the pain that I know.
Yeah.
Joe, have you ever experienced a runner's high? I think that's fake too. So
No, because I only run if
they
I'm
say if
being
you can
paid.
make it to 20 minutes, then
But-
you like
But I
you break through.
experienced the comedian's high.
That's a real
That knows
thing.
laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take
Right?
that
That's
one
a good
every
one.
time,
That-
dude.
But the runners. I mean, back Christ, when I was in high school, I'd run a little bit. I get shin splints. I said, "What the fuck? This is crazy." And I would just stop and walk and say, try to hitchhike back to where I started from. But it was, no, I never experienced the runner's high. Never felt compelled to run. I do walk every day, and I do try to do a couple miles. But running, that's just something you do when you have to.
Yeah.
For me, that's my take on running.
That's fair.
No, yeah, I mean, like, I only run from the police, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
If I'm being
Right,
chased,
right,
if someone's
right.
and
trying
at
to
this
find
age,
me.
it's not even that far.
Or an alligator.
That's true.
Yeah,
down
like-
there.
The cops don't want to chase you either at this point. Cops are not that funny these days.
Do you know in New Jersey they can't chase kids under 15 or under 16?
Really?
If you're under 16 years old, the kids can do whatever the hell they want,
Wow.
and the cops aren't allowed to apprehend them.
If only I'd known back in the
Good old
day.
Phil Murphy put that into law. Makes me wish I was like 13
Right?
Because I did a lot of bad shit and got in trouble for it when I was early teens.
And boy, did they chase us, right? I wish I'd had those laws protecting us. That's crazy.
Right?
I know,
Right?
dude. You mix
That's
that with
when you
all the
learn how
e-bikes
to
that are
be
around
bad
now.
and
They
you
have the
get
no
caught.
chase.
You don't, and now they can't catch you, so you get better at it.
Yeah. Right. You have like all those years to just sharpen your criminal skills.
Exactly. Exactly. You want to see my ID? I'm 14. Fuck you.
I just got my son a little dirt bike, dude. He's gonna be untouchable now. They have a no chase policy on motorcycles. And
Oh
he's
my
under 15.
god. He's just running the
I'm like, dude,
smallest gang.
Take this note in the bank for me real quick.
Right? Right? And listen, Murphy put it in. You can't question, apprehend, chase. If you think they're under 16, you're not allowed to do it. Okay. So now we have all these curfews on the beach and boardwalk, which we never had before because these kids are, going crazy. 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And again, I can't blame them. I'd do the same thing if I was that age.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I
boardwalk,
did. We just got caught.
Right.
you live in that area up there, man. What are your thoughts on Boardwalk Empire, dude? It's one of my favorite.
I never
shows.
watched it.
Really?
No way,
I never
dude.
watched it. I will tell you, my wife was an attorney, and she knew the guy that wrote the book. He was a judge, and it was interesting. I don't read that much, so she was telling me about the book, and then when the special or the series came on HBO, it's like, do we really want to watch this? Because we kind of know what the truth really is, and these guys are just throwing a lot. I mean, a lot of it. I mean, Nucky Johnson, all that stuff. I mean, there's places that still have the hatches in the floor where the speedboats used to come in and unload all the booze during Prohibition because
I'm glad you brought up Nucky Thompson. That's such a good show. He was a real guy, right? He
Yeah.
actually ran Jersey.
Nucky Thompson was a real guy.
They changed the
and
last
he
name for
basically
legal purposes.
He ran Atlantic City. Now, what a lot of people don't know about Atlantic City is that was a safe zone for mafia guys.
Yeah.
If you were vacationing in Atlantic City, you couldn't get hit. There were no hits allowed in Atlantic City, no abduction. I mean, it was a safe zone.
Really? I've never heard of that. It was like Switzerland.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Al Capone would be there with Lucky Luciano, and they weren't real friendly, but they couldn't do anything.
Wow.
And that they had they used to have some productive mafia meetings, I guess,
And that was before like the Council of the Mafia got formed, right?
It was right around the time Lucky Luciano was starting to come up with
He
that.
put it all together, right?
But back in the 20s, 30s, it was just Atlantic City was just it was wild.
Yeah.
It's still it still has its darkness as far as some of that stuff goes, but not the way it used to
It
be.
used to be really
Not
at the
the way it
tops,
used to
yeah.
be.
And Arnold Rothstein too was right up in New York, and then he'd come down to Atlantic City to gamble, and
Yeah.
it was a really happening place.
Well, it was like during Prohibition, everybody knew you could get alcohol in Atlantic City, and there was nothing anybody was going to do about it, and there was nothing anybody could do about it. The trick is getting the alcohol to Atlantic City. They had to go to Canada, they had to go offshore, meet boats, come in with the speed boats that would outrun the Coast Guard boats. And there's a place in Strathmere, New Jersey. They still have the hatch in the floor. What the hell that goes underneath into the bay. I said, yeah, that's where they used to just
Stash box, baby.
unload the boats with the booze during Prohibition. So that's a lot of
They
neat
still
stuff
have
in New
those.
Jersey.
Most of them are installed by the cartel now, but
Yeah, well,
it's a little stash box. That's a good point. I mean, like literally that era, even how crazy it was, it brought about so much change in our side. Like we wouldn't have NASCAR without Prohibition. You know what I mean? Not that I'm a NASCAR fan, but that's
You're right.
literally
The
like where it
Prohibition
came
era
from.
boxcar races. That's such a good point.
Well,
Yeah.
because
They used to put the
those guys
liquor
started
in
out
their
by
engine to outrun
they
the
used the
police,
cars
dude.
to outrun the police to move the booze. They had all those stills down there.
Yeah, that's great, dude.
People might remember that great scene in Lawless where they're on the run from I think it's like the Bondurant gang is on the run from the police or whatever.
Right.
So Cricket just pours moonshine in the engine, and all of a sudden the thing really starts to move.
Doesn't he spit it into the
He's like
carburetor?
Mad Maxing it into the carburetor.
Yeah. Mad. That's a good, nice reference, dude. That's a good one.
And to think we drink that as well.
It is wild, dude. It's like the same stuff that
Pure
can put
fuel.
us on the moon.
But yeah, it's I'm here my whole life, and there's a lot of history. In fact, I did a show in Cleveland a couple weeks ago, so I had time during the day to kill, so I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now,
Nice.
the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland because that's where the one DJ coined the term rock and roll. But where I grew up in Wildwood, New Jersey, if you look at the history books about rock and roll, Rock Around the Clock was the first commercially successful rock and roll song. And it was performed for the very first time where I live. So I've always contended this is really the kickoff point for where commercial rock and roll really started. And, we weren't even mentioned as a consideration in Wildwood, New Jersey for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What was funny, I called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and said, listen, you guys have to do something on the city of Wildwood. And he says, I'm from Philly. I know everything about Wildwood. We need stuff. So the mayor at the time, I don't know if he's still mayor of Wildwood, worked at a club and ended up marrying the one girl's daughter. And I called him up. I said, Ernie, listen, do you have any stuff from your father-in-law from the club? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will put a exposition, of Wildwood and what it did for rock and roll. He said, yeah, my father-in-law one day said, what the hell do I need this shit for? And he threw away contracts with Diana Ross, Sam Cooke, Chubby Checker.
Oh my God, dude.
So all these, contracts, they would have just had, all these people played just at the Surf Club, and they played at other clubs as well. I mean, Chubby Checker did the Twist for the first time in Wildwood. So there's a lot of stuff, but I was disappointed, and I guess I'm an old guy, but I'm looking at these inductees, and it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not the Music Hall of Fame. And there's a lot of inductees that I think they have a hard time arguing to say they have anything to do with rock and roll. And then I look at some of the bands that aren't in the Rock and Roll. And by the way, they have, a list of each year. I think it was the third year the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they inducted the Beatles. Third year. I would think that would be their first, let's face it, I'm an old guy, but, the Beatles changed the world.
You think John Lennon's still alive? I mean, do you think Paul's still alive, dude?
Do I think Paul is still here? We go. We're what? A couple minutes in, we're already conspiracy theory. Listen,
Paul is dead.
The in seventh grade, I mentioned all that stuff, and my English teacher said, "Wait a minute, I'm an expert on all the Paul is dead clues," and he was giving me stuff that I didn't even realize was out there, and I probably knew 50, 60 of them. The backward stuff and the different stuff on the album covers.
Yeah, the no shoes.
He brought out
being
stuff
last.
that was even like, holy cow! I didn't realize that stuff existed. So yeah, but do I think he's now? I don't know. It was
You
more
don't think he got replaced?
like Beatlemania, just like Beatlemania. Brian Epstein paid the young girls to scream. I mean, and then that started.
Did he really? I had no idea. That's so genius.
Oh, and Brian Epstein bought. I think he bought 100,000 copies.
Maxing to the limit,
so they would chart. I mean,
Yeah.
it was. I mean, look, they were talented.
Sure.
They had a sound like nobody else. There's no question about it. But from a standpoint of early success, it was all creative.
Sure.
It was all creative.
Yeah.
And that's, that's documented that Brian Epstein bought 100,000 copies so they would chart, and that he paid, young kids to scream, outside of where the Beatles were going to play.
I learned recently that the Beatles started out pretty rough and tumble. Like they're from like Manchester, right? And so Liverpool. Okay, so yeah, apparently those first like couple years of shows where they're going to Germany, they're going around Liverpool and whatnot. People would like fight them after the shows sometimes. Like they were like thugs, kind of. Yeah.
You look at Meet the Beatles and they're in those suits and you look at the early stuff, leather jackets, cigarettes hanging out of their mouths. They look like
a
we're
biker
going to get into a rumble.
Right. Yeah.
But that's their culture, man. There's a look at the soccer fans.
Oh, geez,
they have riots every
it's
game.
A small
don't
riot,
they?
whether they win or not. Yeah.
So that's just their culture. But yeah, there's there's so much you learn. And I've probably forgotten more than I could even discuss over the shit that I've just. Because I know, last time, Mile, he kind of hit me broadside with the conspiracy stuff.
He does that.
And I told him before you got here that, the one thing that I should have brought up that just didn't come to mind is that Blue Origin fiasco.
Sure.
Opening the door from the inside that should have, it was just, there was so much nonsense that went on. They should just say, yeah, we faked it, but, we enjoyed trying to fool some people.
Love it. I love it, dude. All right, that's enough for free, I'm going to say right now. Let's play this intro music.
All right, cool.
Pop the intro and then get into it. Dude, that was sick, though. You're the
I got
man,
more.
Dude, I can't help but feel like I sort of blackpilled you on the first podcast because you were pushing back on the conspiracies now you're bringing them up, dude. So that's so sick.
It's come full circle.
Hell yeah, man. But no, look, that's just a little taste of what we got for you in store with Joe Scirocco Jr., man. This guy's been everywhere, dude. Let's play this intro music and then we'll get to it.
Cool,
Let's
cool.
go.
Comedy Coroner.
Years.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Nothing wrong with a little shameless plug from McCurdy's.
I think they should be paying us for that personally, but whatever.
I mean, we love him and hate him, dude. You know how
hate
it
it
is.
or love it. The underdogs
Anyways,
on top.
look. Well, welcome to the show. Today we're digging back into some files of a man who defies every standard of the industry metrics, man.
Joe Scirocco Jr. is the ultimate late entry anomaly. After decades in the shark tank of Jersey real estate and rock and roll management, he pivoted to stand-up at age 62, weaponizing a brand of boomer edgelord wisdom that has spent the last month leaving a trail of bodies across the map.
Bro, he's been relentless lately, man. Cutting through rooms at crackpots in Ohio. Legendary Gotham in NYC, dude. Love that. Laugh Factory in Chicago. He doesn't just perform, dude. He dissects the absurdity of his own life with just the precision of a scalpel, like we do here on the Autopsy on the fucking Coroner channel, dude. And we've already autopsied his career once, but the evidence keeps mounting, man.
So today we're exhuming the bodies. We're going to find out what new comedy DNA there's out there. See what kind of breakthrough evidence he's brought back from the comedy road.
So, like, as returning guests here on Comedy Corner, let's get into forensics with Mr. Joe Scirocco Jr., man. Thanks for coming back, buddy.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
And I think when you start to slice me up, start with the brain, because it's definitely insanity that got me into stand-up comedy. I mean, like I think I told you guys before, my intro into stand-up was not planned. It was not something I dreamt of doing. I was just dating some crazy women, and I was sick of dating them, and I wanted to do something fun. I thought, oh, let me try stand-up comedy. I didn't take a course. I just went and did an open mic. The venue I did the open mic at turned out to be a hangout for a notorious New Jersey motorcycle club. And my first gang was a bunch of rapists, murderers, meth dealers. Now, granted, they weren't paying attention to me, but Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I got over any jitters the first time ever getting in front of a
That'll
microphone.
help the
But
stage
now I'm
fright.
looking out of the sea of these
Yeah,
vests and I'm
yeah.
thinking, okay, all I
I
have
mean,
to do is
the
say
threat of
one
you're
wrong
not funny,
thing.
you're gonna get shot outside. That's
Oh, they were in the corner planning their next crime, but I was scared. Because, they were still listening, if I
don't
said the
suck or
wrong
you're our
thing.
new mule. You know what I mean? Like,
But I got a bit out of it. Would you like to hear it?
fuck yeah,
Course.
dude.
All right, uh, my first gig was an open mic in Toms River, New Jersey, at a club that ended up being a hangout for a notorious New Jersey motorcycle club. And I was worried that these guys were going to kill me. But as you can see, I got out unscathed. But after my set, the head guy came up to me, put his arm around me, said, "Joe, you're a funny guy, but next time you play our venue, you have to wear our vest." And he hands me this vest. And on the back of the vest, it says, "Rocco's bitch."
Oh my God.
So
Jesus
I
Christ.
haven't,
I mean,
I haven't
having
been
a vest is better than walking around holding somebody's pocket the whole time. So
Listen, that was just
at,
that was
at least
probably
then,
just gonna
like
be
you know
the
what I mean.
start.
You're
Jeez.
what do they call them?
But yeah, I just it was, but it was just it was interesting because I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
I didn't know how to stand on stage, talking to the microphone. And then the next night I had a show because a friend of mine owned a little comedy club where I grew up in Wildwood, New Jersey, and I would go see comedy, and I said to him, I said, you know what? Give me 5 minutes. So he said, well, tape yourself and send it to me. I said, okay, well, what am I taping? He says, tape yourself being funny. I said, okay. So I sent it to him. He says, you're hilarious. You have your 5 minutes. So before I did the show, I needed to do an open mic because I had no idea what I was doing. And my first audience at the show was two people, two customers and four comedians. And, they laughed. So,
We've
and
done
then,
those.
and then I just said, okay, I'm just going to keep doing this. And I did a few more open mics. And now I just do shows. People say, oh, you have to go to open mics and, work out. I said, I could work my new stuff out in shows. That to me is a better indicator because if I do it at open mics, you really don't know what kind of response you're going to get because comics are notorious for not laughing at other comedians, no matter
Oh
how
no,
funny
dude.
you are.
That's I think if you can actually
To me,
eke a laugh out of a comedian, then you know you got something. But
You
yeah,
have to be
it's
careful
all a
though, because a
holdback.
lot of times they'll just laugh at shocking premises. They're so desensitized to normal joke.
Oh, and then there's the fake laugh,
But
or like the
also in New
laugh when
Jersey-
you bomb.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, did I tell you? I'm lucky. I mean, I don't get the laughs. I think I should get some, but I only bombed really once.
Nice.
And did I tell you this story?
No, let's hear the story though, because
Okay,
that's one
so-
thing that we
so,
do here
you
is
know,
you have to tell your bomb story, dude. You have
my
to tell the
first
bomb
show
story
in
on the
Philly-
podcast. That's what we
My
do.
first show in Philly, I thought, let me open up. I'm going to be a little different, a little edgy, and
Yeah, in Philly, dude,
when
they
I
don't
come to
fuck with
Philadelphia, I
feelings
don't
there.
think about the Eagles or soft pretzels or cheesesteaks. I think about Philadelphia being the only city that a mayor allowed a bomb to be dropped on his own city to get
Yeah.
people out of a house. I come to find out the venue was 2 blocks from where they dropped the bomb. Nobody was laughing, and the looks I got, I thought I was going to have to run to my car and get that runner's high, or was that
There
stabbing?
you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
I
Call
can't
back,
tell.
bitches.
But that was really the only time. And now I tell this, and people now laugh at it, and I'm like, and I'm not making fun of what happened. People died, property was damaged. It's a shame. What
Just
I'm
like
finding funny,
every Super Bowl win. That's what the city looks like, dude.
well, that's the grease light pole.
Oh
But
my God.
in every one we have one, but the what I found funny was the absurdity that the third largest city could not find a better solution to get people out of a house than to drop a bomb on its own city.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it's Wilson Good was the mayor. It was, I think, 1984, 1985. Now, I will tell you, the best thing that came out of that was a cartoon in the Philadelphia Daily News. And it was a cartoon of Wilson Good sitting on a World War I biplane with one of those leather hats and goggles. And on the side of the plane were houses notched into the, you know how the pilots used to notch planes? Well, he had houses notched into the side of the plane. But I know what you're doing. You're looking for that. You're looking for it.
So you figured me out, bro.
You should be able to find it. Wilson Good, Philadelphia Daily News cartoon, where he it was after he authorized a bomb to be dropped on his own city.
Yeah, I'd see. He's 10 years historically significant because 1985 move bombing that you're just referring to. The Philadelphia police dropped an explosive on a row house occupied by a radical group move. The resulting fire killed 11 people, destroyed 60 homes. Good has publicly expressed regret and called for formal apologies decades later. And let's see if we can find this cartoon.
Yeah, Philadelphia Daily News cartoon. It was in the Philadelphia Daily News, and it was just...
Damn, dude.
But while you're looking at that, let's not keep any side. I'll just keep talking while you look for it. Just
Yeah,
let me know.
you're good.
Let
Keep
me
going.
know.
What do you let me ask you this. While I'm looking this up. You've been paying, like, do you watch mainstream news, or do you do like your own little research?
I might hear a little bit on the radio just because
I mean, are you a guy that's looking for stuff every day, or are you just like when it comes
material?
to you? No, yeah, like no, I mean not just material. Like, are you like a naturally curious person where you're like, I want to find out what's going on, not what they're telling me, but then you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. I mean, it's you got to do your own. You have to do your own research and find and then sift through the bullshit and see what's what's real, what's what's questionable, what's obviously fake. And I just I've learned. I look when you watch the local news or even the national news, and they can't get the weather forecast right most of the time. What else is wrong, right? I mean, they've got all this technology now that they should be able to tell you 5 months out what the weather's going to be. They can't tell you what it's going to be like tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, when they tell you it's flurries, we get a blizzard. When they tell you it's a blizzard, we get 60 degrees and sunshine. There's no, so.
bro, just back to the good thing real quick. I just went through GPT, Copilot, and Gemini, and they've scrubbed all the images of that fucking cartoon off of all those. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want
No. Listen.
Put that out there.
But I mean, I'm more of a listener. I mean, I listen to things and then say, okay. And then if something really is like that doesn't sound right, or I'll look it up. I'll do. But I don't watch the news. I don't.
Listening for the bullshit is
because she likes to watch David Muir on ABC. I think she just has the
he's
hot
sexy,
for
dude.
him.
He's all right.
But I don't. I don't pay much attention. I don't pay much attention.
I could understand if my old lady liked watching David Muir. I could get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure she's watching for the news, but that's cool. I'm not a jealous guy.
But nobody's watching Fox for the sex appeal, dude. If my old lady's watching Fox, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go.
I just, I'm just not, every news channel you could find fault with them shit that they make up, and it's just not, it's not worth my time. I mean, like I said, I'm 65. I don't know how much more time I have on this earth. The last thing I want is to get agita watching bullshit. I'd rather watch Runs of Seinfeld for the 20th time.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's still not that bad, okay?
Right.
Watching Seinfeld for the 20th time is better than watching Young Sheldon for the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking trash that is, dude.
I was watching Seinfeld last night, and it was when they were doing the voice and the girl's
Same.
belly. Oh, remember that one?
Oh my god.
That was.
Do you remember
that
Do you remember the one where George
ahead.
kills his wife by accident? That was so
Yeah.
good. That was so funny. Oh my god.
It's that one, Kenny Rogers Roasters,
end, they all
and Snoop
decide to
Nazi,
go to
dude. Those
Coca-Cola.
are
It
the...
just works out in the end.
Yeah, just they pronounce her dead off. You want to go to the coffee shop now? Okay.
Oh god, I love that
So
show.
you guys want to go? You want to start light? You guys want to start light and finish heavy, or you want to go heavy first and finish light?
Whatever
dude?
works.
I say we go light first and then finish heavy.
All
You
right,
guys
then
hear
my
about
brain
that the
hurt
Pink
later.
Floyd
Okay.
spider? They just hear about the Pink Floyd spider? Bro, this is a wild one. So look, first of all, if you're a fan of Pink Floyd, you might have a new favorite roommate. scientists in Colombia just discovered a new wall-dwelling spider, and they named it Piccianilla florgimuroria. I probably fucked that up, dude. I'll probably come back and cut that in. Anyways, but literally, that's like it means the brick in the wall, so it's like a wall spider. But don't let the name fool you. It's like a tiny spider, dude, not a big one. It's like the size of a hit of acid, dude, which I think is more why they named it after Pink Floyd than, anyways. But yeah, it hunts its prey 6 times its own size, dude. So it's a little dude. He's taking down Goliath, dude. It's a badass spider. Just like imagine a house cat taking down a giraffe, dude. Like that's the size comparison, and that is the Floyd spider's energy. Sets up shop near urban lights, catches out fat mosquitoes, dude. Bloodsucker. He might be a vampire, dude. Catching fat mosquitoes, bro. But anyways, basically like the equivalent of a spider opening up a nightclub with a drive-through. You know what I mean? Just add a light. Just added. Anyways, any thoughts on that? You never heard about the pink Floyd spider,
dude? This is all news. Probably.
It's pretty
I feel
good.
like you're making some of these up because I don't hear most of them except
Dude,
for
I don't.
you. I think you're writing half of these.
You know what I do? I do this. I go Y-Files on this, and then every crazy stuff I say that's unbelievable, then I'll splice in a little video and be like, oh, he is just on Reddit.
It is amazing though that they can still find all these species that you figured we pretty much should know everything that's out there. But you ever see those like, all right, I'm a dork, National Geographic specials where they go like deep into the dark ocean and you see things that they've never seen before? I mean, that's why that's what this your brick in the
This
wall
is nerd
spider.
gang right here. You're not a dork. This is literally the shit that we live on. Okay. Anything like that, dude. How the fuck do they figure out how to have their own like LED lights when there's no light? You know what I mean? Like, you see, like there's so much pressure it would crush anything that we could build. There's no source of light, which they think like you have to have sunlight and water for any life on Earth to exist. They live off like weird vents and heat down there. Don't have any vision. They have like crazy lights that collect their prey, and then they the whole thing is like that's aliens, bro. There's aliens in the ocean.
All right, so
No
now
way
we're
to
going
put
to
it.
go. I thought we were going to go light first, but listen, you're talking about
No,
aliens,
that's fine.
right?
Aliens are light compared to what they tell us. Dude.
How many videos does the military now have of alien craft coming out of the ocean?
Oh, I'm glad that you brought this up.
Right? I mean, I'm just saying that's I think there's definitely alien life way below in the ocean.
Oh, for sure, dude. The thing that's wild is I think we know more about the surface of Mars than we know about our ocean.
Yeah.
Like we have more of the surface of Mars map than we have of the ocean, which is nuts.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, like if you think about it, dude, where is the only place if you could be like a subvergent or an alien species, the only place that you could hide out, the best place would be in the ocean.
Absolutely, because
You know what I mean?
we I don't think we've ever been to the deepest depths. I don't think we have anything that won't get crushed if you get below a certain depth. So I mean, and obviously the aliens know, hey, they can't come down here. We didn't give them the technology yet to figure out how to build something that gets this deep.
Nah, Baron Trump got that from the Nazis before, bro.
Are we back on Baron?
Dude, that is a wild. That is the funnest one that I think is around now. It's just the Baron Trump as a time traveler. It's very fun. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then you look at it. But there is like a lot of Nazi overtones in that one too. Do you know what I mean? Which makes it not as fun.
Well,
For you
again,
too.
like we were talking
Not
about
for me.
earlier, the fact that he's being praised for being so smart for making $50 million trading oil futures. Really? He didn't have a little heads up on certain things? Like
Yeah, you just mail Martha Stewart.
invading a country that is heavy in oil exports. Come on. It just, I laughed when I heard that. I said, for real? That was insane to read that. But, yeah. whatever people want to believe, man, it is what it is. I'm far beyond the point of trying to change people's minds. I just tell them what I think, my opinion, and that and $1 will get you a cup of coffee at Wawa.
That's true. And Wawa is dope. I'm pretty sure that's why you like this place as much as Philadelphia, because there is a huge gap. And then you get down here and there's fucking Wawas here too, dude. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's like, I'm like, fuck Buc-ee's, dude. I'm a Wawa, dude.
You know what I mean? I love Wawa, but
Buc-ee's is for tourists.
I got banned from the Somers Point, New Jersey Wawa for 1 year. And the reason is they used to have dollar coffee days, and the promotion said any size coffee, not any size cup of coffee, any size.
Oh yeah.
So I went in and I bought a box, the 12-cup box,
shit.
and went and paid for $1. And they called the company, the headquarters. They said, "Yeah, you have to sell it to him because he's right. We didn't limit it to 24 ounces or cups. It just says
hit him with the
size.
gypsy
bro. That's
And I even
awesome.
showed on I looked up on the phone. A box is considered a size.
Wow.
You have different size boxes. It's a size. So yeah, and then they banned me.
I like small size boxes too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I didn't even drink it. I gave it to somebody outside. I said, "You want some coffee?" I just got this whole thing for $1.
Yeah.
And they looked at me like, "What?"
You should have started
dude.
selling it like wholesaling directly outside of their store.
all the homeless dudes outside that Wawa were fucking were super grateful for you that day,
banned
dude.
from the store. I wasn't looking to get arrested.
Yeah.
And in that area, they probably would arrest me for
They just
not having a
you hacked the
mercantile
system. They
That'd
exiled
be
you.
cool if you're just too good at
just-
coffee.
They just hit you with the Napoleon, dude.
Yeah, but they changed. Apparently, they changed it to where now it's any size cup of coffee for $1.
Those sons of bitches.
So yeah, Wawa doesn't really like me, but it's just I love reading those signs saying, okay, how can I fuck with them?
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to walk into this deli and they used to say our sandwiches are made with cage-free eggs. I said, why does it matter if you put an egg in a cage? I said it matters if the chicken's cage-free, but the egg, put 5 eggs in a cage, take them out a week later, they're going to be regular eggs. There's not going to be anything different about them. And they changed the sign. They said, you're a fucking wise ass. Stop reading our signs. But we changed the sign to cage-free chicken eggs.
My girlfriend likes doing that when we go through a drive-through. She'll be like, I have an employee discount. And I'll be like, you're an employee here? She's like, no, but I am an employee. They're always so annoyed. They're like, God damn it.
Well, she's right.
Right. No,
She's just
yeah,
like-
it is
like
technically
dollar
true.
coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't say anywhere that it says employee of McDonald's
Yeah,
or
it's not her
Chick-fil-A
fault they
or
aren't
Arby's.
specific.
But yeah, but I miss being down there, man. The weather up here has been like 80-degree days and 50-degree days. It's terrible, and you guys are getting, I know you guys are getting some, rain and some clouds, but you still have that nice temperature where, you feel good. Here, Jersey.
I only wear pants to
cold.
comedy shows because Jake makes me, dude. Shames me into not wearing shorts to do.
I think it's
fucking comedy.
disrespectful to the audience.
No, I agree with it.
It's like we should look good up there for them.
I mean, there's so many of these. I'm not going to say unwritten rules because I'm sure people wrote them down. But to me, comedy has 2 rules. Be funny and don't steal other people's jokes. Everything else, man, if it works for you, it works for you.
That's true.
I personally don't like when people go up on stage to do a show with notes. But, if that's your thing, if you're still making people laugh, who fucking cares?
Sure.
I don't wear shorts on stage because I don't like the look.
Yeah, who wants to see my
pale
legs?
white-
I'm a pale white guy. Like, that's not...
Right.
Oh, like, I have a girlfriend. Who am I
got a
going to
pretty good
seduce with
tan,
my
bro. I'm
legs?
just
Like,
saying.
I don't understand what the point is. I'm not there to
Yep.
impress people that I do leg day or whatever. I'm there to, like...
So I'd rather have baggy jeans on and I just look like a farmer.
Yeah.
But
The thing that's funny is all I have are skinny jeans, so that makes me look
10-year
younger,
rule,
look
10 year
stupider.
to really find your voice and all that. That was made up by somebody that took 10 years to become successful.
Right.
There's absolutely no legitimacy to that. And
it's convenient for gatekeepers, right? If you're a club owner, it's really easy to
hell
bog
yeah.
people down, and that way the number of people you're being asked to book goes way down. Because it's like, I haven't seen you here for 10 years. It's like, well, that's an insane
look.
standard. 10 years is horseshit. Like, you can learn how to headline inside of 5 years probably. Like I'm 3 years in, I just co-headline. In a year or two, I might be able to headline. Is it going to be as good if I waited 10 years? Probably not. But it's like that's such a bullshit
He's got a
rule.
solid 30, dude.
Thanks,
He
man.
ran a solid 30 last night.
Well,
And,
it's funny you say about the gatekeepers. Got a guy that booked shows, and I reached out to him maybe a little over a year doing stand up, and I was doing good. I was getting future paid spots and whatnot. And he said, well, I usually only hire people that have been doing this for at least 5 years. And I said to him, look, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm doing this 5 years and your show's the only show I can get on, I must be doing something wrong.
Let's go, dude. Nice.
Needless to say, he's never booked me on a show.
Yeah.
We know those guys too, man.
Yeah, that'll happen,
You know.
and it's like it's weird because I mean, like we have spots where like me and Levi get booked all over the Tampa Bay area, and then like you'll be in your hometown, and like people who've been doing comedy and seeing you do comedy for years will like gatekeep you and be territorial, and it's like
Yeah.
really weird how that
I
happens.
just thank him and move on, man. There's plenty. I always said, if you're good, there's plenty of stages you can play on.
Yeah.
And I don't sit and worry and pine over it. I just, I mean, I keep busy. I mean, I only have 6 shows this month, but I didn't want to go too heavy because, Memorial Day weekend and everything.
There's
and,
only 4 weekends in the month.
Yeah,
dude. What are
6
you
is
talking
solid. I think I have like 4 or 5. 6 is
You're
great. Yeah,
insane,
you're killing
dude.
it.
Oh,
What are you saying?
I normally like to do 10 to 15 a month.
Wow, I gotta get my
really-
shit
Fuck
together.
yeah, dude. I appreciate it. That's
but again, no,
grinding,
look,
dude.
I'm 65. I have a lot of catching up to do. That's part of it. Is that my window is much more narrow because of my age, and I just want to be as aggressive as I can booking shows. Like when I went out 2 weeks ago. I left on Thursday, went to Harrisburg. I did a mic at the Harrisburg Comedy Zone to prep. Then I went to Crackpots on Friday in Ohio. Then Crackpots was supposed to give me another show on Saturday, but a different headliner came in. He had his own people. So I was able to book a show up in Cleveland. And that was it was just at a restaurant. I forget the name of it, but really nice people, good crowd. And then I drove to Chicago and did the Laugh Factory. So I had 4 shows in a row just in that weekend, including the mic. And then then about a month and a half ago, I went out to Nebraska. I flew out and did a show in Omaha, did a show in Norfolk, which it's spelled Norfolk, but they call it North Fork. I don't know why. And then I came back, drove down to Virginia, so I love keeping
think that's
busy.
hilarious.
I don't want to, sit on my hands.
Dude,
I like that. That's really cool.
You got to be able to crush the Midwest crowds, dude. I bet no matter what your angle is, the Midwest crowds are pretty easy to crush. Like Nebraska, doing comedy in Nebraska, dude. Do you think it's easier to do it in Nebraska or do it in New York City, bro?
See, but so I did my very first show in New York City at Rodney's, the old Dangerfields. 6 weeks into doing stand-up
Oh,
comedy.
you got sharpened fast, dude.
Well, what happened is
Iron on iron.
I'm sitting there saying they're probably gonna heckle me. They're gonna eat me alive. They loved me. They were coming to me after the show, saying how funny I was, repeating some of my bits back to me, and I'm thinking to myself, the fuck? This is fucking New York City. They should have kicked my... And every show I've done in New York City has been a great show. I've been to Broadway Comedy a couple times. Gotham. I think I told you the story of Gotham. That's where I had to follow a combined 40 minutes of Jim Gaffigan and Jerry Seinfeld. And that was crazy.
Dude, that's legendary shit, dude.
But that was just weird. That was just happenstance. The stars were aligned. And I went up and I had a great set. And afterwards, I went out to the street and threw up. I drive heaved.
Wow.
Half the comedians I know would have filmed themselves jumping off the Skyway if they had to follow Gaffigan and Seinfeld.
That
dude.
is
That's
like
nuts.
a career level moment where you're like, what do I do?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, well, and you do think about that. Okay, how do I top this? What do I do to top this? I mean, I did a show maybe 5 months into doing stand up, almost 900 people. I did a 5-minute opening set for Steve Trevino because I'm in the mortgage business during the day. See all my stuff. Anyway, I work with a lady that's a wholesaler, and she works with Steve Trevino's best friend, who's also a mortgage broker in PA. And she said, "Oh, I have a guy. He's starting to do comedy. He said, well, send me a video. Steve likes to bring up new comics. So I sent a video. I said, I like it. I'm going to send it to Steve and tell him he should bring them up. So I did. So I did like 5 minutes in front of almost it was like 800 and some odd people, I think was the final count. And it was like,
Nice.
I opened up, so they introduced me, and the crowd's going crazy, and I'm laughing to myself, saying, "These people don't know who the fuck I am," but they're going, and I made them laugh for 6 minutes. Had a great time. Trevino says to me, "You've only been doing this 5 months, huh?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You're pretty damn good." That was pretty cool to hear from him. I mean, a guy that you watch on Netflix and hear on Sirius XM, and
yeah, and he's also sort of checking you, dude, at the same time. Which is wild. You know what I mean?
No question about it. And it was a great, but I've had some great experiences. You know, I love doing podcast interviews. I love, doing this stuff with you guys. And then
you're good at it, dude.
Before we, we started taping, is that I'm on Facebook, so I noticed there are all these groups for internet radio stations. So I thought to myself, I'm going to sign up and join these internet radio stations and reach out to them, tell them I'm a comic.
Can I stop you 1 second, real quick? Jacob's girlfriend, he met his girlfriend on a radio show that we went on as comedians.
Okay, cool.
Now he has a live-in girlfriend that he met who has a radio.
That's true.
So we totally understand this angle. But Jake, listen to this shit because we did talk about it earlier.
Yeah.
We need to start fucking doing this immediately. Dude. Go ahead, please tell us. Please
so
leave us,
I
Papa,
just reach out. I mean, this is so. I join. So I say, hey guys, thanks for let me join your group. My name's Joe Scrogg. I'm a New Jersey-based comedian. I have some clips I'd like to send you. I'm not asking for any monetary compensation. I would just like you to give me credit before and after the clips played, and then give my social media information. And then if I am doing a show near your area where you're located, I'd love you to plug the show, and I'll be able to get you some comp tickets for the staff and to give away to listeners. And I'm on like
Genius.
12 I'm South Africa, Canada, the US, England. So it's, who knows where it's going. It may not lead anywhere, but at least my shit's getting played all over the world, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. I think even just like being an American comedian going to Australia or England and then a radio show promoting you, that's already gonna pull. You know what I mean? And that's a fucking genius.
Great comedian from New York.
Why didn't we think of that, Jake?
I don't know, man.
What are we doing, dude? We're too busy fapping and hitting vape pens, dude.
Is that I'm here all day long. All I do is think out of the box. I reach out to people. I reach out to promoters. I reach out to bookers. I reach out to other comedians. Half my day I'm doing mortgages, half my day I'm online doing shit. And it just, a light bulb went off when I saw all these internet radio. I didn't realize how many internet radio stations there are, and they're all over the world.
Dude, your meta is
I'm
fucked,
going to give
dude.
you something for free, cool. And all I'm asking for is, tell them who I am and tell them where they could find me. And so far it's been good. I've got some followers from that, and
I can't believe I didn't think of that, because I mean, if you think about music, like a lot of musicians, how they get their start is they just go to a DJ and they're like, play this on the radio. Like, why the fuck don't comedians do that?
Oh, and that's what I said. The clips are short enough that they'd be good to play between songs, or if you wanted to have like a comedy break or a laugh break. I mean, I'm feeding them ideas on how to use, because at first they might say, well, it's comedy, but oh yeah, you know what? Maybe that'll work. And so
it's
I thought,
also like
okay,
2, 3, 5 minutes less pressure on the radio host, because like dead air is that's just like, you can't have the dead, you know what I mean? So literally, when you're a radio host, because I went and did a segment at like a sports radio thing, and they don't want you to say anything that makes sense. They just don't want you to stop talking. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't want any dead air. So there's so much pressure when you're a radio host. Just seriously, like, if I was a fucking radio host and I had killer comedians send me clips and didn't want any money for it, I'd be playing them anyways, dude. Why wouldn't you?
And that's the whole point is that I'm giving these to you. All I'm asking for is just a little promo, and I look at it this way: if the right person hears it, I mean, and I don't care if it's somebody in South Africa says, hey, we heard your stuff, we want to fly out here, we want you to do some shows, we'll pay you this, we'll put you up. Fuck yeah, I'm going to South Africa. I'll do shows anywhere. Billy Joel did those shows in freaking Russia before they were able to actually pay him, so they paid him in vodka, I think. If I
They
remember
paid
that
him in
correctly.
beets and vodka.
They paid him in vodka.
They paid him in.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll work.
I
Listen,
had a couple
I'll work,
recording sessions with Haitians that were sort of like that, but
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 you
they
know,
paid you in weed.
they paid me in weed, yeah.
They paid
yeah,
you
but
in the
see,
bodies
I
of
don't
their
drink- I don't drink-
enemies.
I don't drink. I don't drink. I
Well,
don't
it was more
drink.
just like,
So
I'm
for
not
me,
going to cut you with the
what
machete.
Tina smokes. So I could get it for Tina if they paid me weed, and she'd probably say this stuff's too strong.
Are you a weed advocate, Miss Joe Scaracca? What's your stance on
Yeah.
weed, buddy?
On weed?
Yeah.
It should have never been illegal.
Hell yeah.
Let's
That's
go.
awesome.
It should have never
Let's
been
go.
illegal because there's no proof that it's any worse than alcohol. And
Do you drink, though?
I'm sorry.
Do you drink?
Do I drink? No, not anymore. Believe me, I'm not some
So
righteous.
many of these.
I'm not some
There's so
righteous.
many of
but
these.
The
You
reason I
can
don't
quit
drink,
drinking by smoking weed.
it
It's
puts me to sleep.
100%.
Oh,
possible.
interesting.
I tried smoking weed with Tina, and all I did was cough.
Really?
I just
You don't get any. You don't get any sort of like muse through the weed. You don't. It doesn't
you
do
get up
anything
there
for the
completely
writing
sober,
ever.
you're saying. You perform
So
without
it
anything in your
shuts you
system.
down, right?
Let me back
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
There was one time she had. Well, I don't know what the hell she had, but it knocked me on my ass.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't make me as much high as it just made me like I'm going to go to sleep.
Oh, you
now.
just
This
get
is not
tired.
coming out. Now the one time, so I dated the girl that was a heroin addict, and I used to take her out because I wanted to make sure she ate because she was like 90 fucking pounds. She was like
Jesus
5 pounds
Christ.
away from being hospitalized.
Yeah.
So she lit up a bong before we went out because she needed to help with her appetite. And I said, that smells really good. When I come back and drop you off, I just want to try that. That's what she's okay, fine. So I don't know what the fuck was in that bong. The world was melting. I went outside and I said, what's happening to the house? You better get back inside. I said, where's the door? I was fucked.
Oh, shit.
There had to be something more
It
than
wasn't
pot
just
in that.
weed. Yeah, you got
That's
laced
great,
for
dude.
sure.
It couldn't have been.
Yeah.
And I
for
finally
sure,
made a
dude.
mistake of driving home. How I got home in one piece, how I didn't get
Oh,
stopped.
God,
But I mean,
man.
but neon signs were melting into each other. I said, where the fuck am I? I think
Yeah,
my
you got
house
Ari
was there.
Shaffir, dude.
And it just was frightening. So, but I
Speaking
don't
of
think
Ari
I'm
Shaffir-
crazy enough. I'm crazier. That stuff mellows me out.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs, alcohol mellows me out, makes me tired. I'm crazy, like sober.
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah,
crazy.
that's me
crazy.
too.
I
dude.
think it's better long term for comedians though to be able to not be on drugs because like if you can get up there sober, like it's hard enough to perform, and if you don't have to worry about like what drugs you need before you get up there, then that's like another thing you don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Well, my level of being effed up is I try to make it greater after I get on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a small window I'm trying to get to. It's like 2 White Claws, 3 rips off the vape pen, maybe half of a Mexican Adderall, dude, and that's it. Like that's where I'm. That's
And if
that's the
what
fucking
makes you
soft spot on the back, dude.
I know a lot of people have anxiety. A lot of comics have anxiety and they need something to curb it. I don't have any anxiety.
That's awesome.
I couldn't give a fuck. I get up there and I just start talking. People say, you don't look nervous. I'm not
I'm
nervous.
not
what the
nervous.
fuck? It's not like they could chase you with
Bro,
pitchforks
dude.
and set you
You're
on
the
fire.
guy.
You're such
I
a
love
ski,
that,
dude. You're
That's
such a
so
fucking
cool.
ski, dude.
All they could do is boo, heckle, not laugh.
Hell
so what?
yeah.
I'm getting paid. I'm going home. Now, granted, when I said I don't give a fuck, I want to entertain the audience.
Sure.
I want them to laugh. But I don't have a bad night if it's not what I thought it was going to be. And when it is beyond what I thought it was going to be, that's where I get high. I get high on that laughter.
Yeah.
I get high on saying I just got a
Bro.
shit ton of laughs.
Jacob,
Yeah.
Just going up here talking. Me against
he's got that Jan Ziska mentality, dude.
Oh
Doesn't
hell
he?
yeah.
You know who you familiar with Jan?
Jan
Yeah, let's-
Ziska.
I call it. I like it. I like it, Jan. dude.
Everybody from
makes-
the Czech Republic.
Jan
is in
Ziska
that.
sounds gay, dude. Jan Ziska.
Yeah, play
I
the
think
credit
that sounds like a.
for our next segment.
Here, let's watch a little video. I got a different one.
This is the
Jeff, though.
nerdy
We'll
thing
watch
of the
this
week
one.
I've been researching. I'm obsessed with military history.
No, dude, but this is how dominant skis can be, bro. Let's go.
Wait, play the intro. You got the cool intro?
I'll plug it in before I put the video.
Okay.
I have to transfer it back from my phone to here now. For some reason, I
Oh my
deleted it. It's
God.
fucking weird.
People love this behind the scenes stuff.
Jan Žižka was a Czech warrior
they'll never hear
general
it.
who never lost a battle, even after going completely
Yeah.
blind.
This
He
dude
started
rules.
as a soldier for hire, but when his country rose up against the Catholic Church, he became the leader of the rebellion. His army was made up of farmers and townspeople, but he trained them to beat professional
He was
knights.
like George Washington.
He used
but in
wagons
the
like
Middle
moving
Ages.
walls, packed with guns and fighters, which confused and crushed enemy armies. Even when he lost both eyes, he kept leading battles by remembering the land and giving smart orders. People feared him so much that some say he asked for a drum to be made from his skin
No,
after he
that
died,
really happened.
just to keep
That's
scaring
not
his
a story.
enemies.
They turned
One
him into a
unknown
drum.
fact is that he fought at the Battle of Grunwald in 1410, one of the biggest battles of medieval Europe, where he sharpened his battlefield skills, ending the reign of the Teutonic Knights. Another is that he created one of the first organized field hospitals in Europe to care for wounded soldiers. Žižka wasn't just tough. He was smart, bold, and way ahead of his time. He may have been blind, but he still saw the battlefield clearer than any general or king.
Okay, so here's what's cool. Jan Žižka was never defeated in battle. Alexander lost a couple battles. Napoleon lost, I think, 3 battles. This guy that goes largely unforgotten in history never lost a battle. And he only died from plague. He didn't even die on the battlefield. Black Plague took him out. And he was completely blind for the second half of his military career. He started out, like, early on getting blinded in one eye. So he never could fully see. He's like the Mozart of, like, fighting. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. Never lost a battle.
Never
dude,
lost a
and
battle.
went blind.
Fully blind. Like,
Bro, John Cena,
you
dude.
can't see me, bro. Jan Žižka, more like John Cena.
Dude, they should have made Keanu Reeves play him.
Oh, that would have been
You know what I'm
sick.
saying?
You killed my dog. I'm blind. I'm killing all of you now.
Dude,
See, every time I'm
Dude,
I'm
if
with
you're
you
blind
guys,
and they kill your
I
dog,
get a
that's
history
fucking...
lesson.
That,
I was
they're
a
taking
terrible
out
student.
utensils, dude.
I was a terrible student in school, but I regretted not paying more attention to history because I love history
History
now,
rules.
But it's like in school, it was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
It happened
Yeah,
way
it's just
back when I was
memorizing
there,
shit. That's why
and
it
now I'm
sucks.
like how important it is to know and how interesting it is.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're talking about Napoleon. I actually saw. I don't know if you saw that movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
So good. Holy shit. You saw it too?
Unbelievable.
Right?
I mean, that was
Yeah,
like
I
a
saw it.
3-hour movie, and to me, it went by like
Yeah,
that.
it was like a
you know?
90-minute
It was-
feeling. Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, that was a great, movie, and it was. But it's just interesting. I'm learning something every day. You can teach an old dog new shit.
Hell yeah.
But
Look, hey, since you brought up weird Joaquin Phoenix, dude, I would love to dive into his documentary about how he wanted to be a rapper,
Yeah.
which is just insane in its own right, dude. But
Oh my god,
that's-
thank
it
you
makes
for bringing that up. That's the
makes
funniest
me-
thing I've ever seen.
he like buys cocaine, locks his manager out, does the cocaine. Anyway, all right,
He's
sorry.
so mean on that documentary. It's the funniest shit.
But speaking of weird white guys think they can rap and do cocaine, do you guys hear about David Wilcox dying, dude?
No.
The ancient aliens guy?
No, how'd he die? It was it aliens?
The super nerdy blonde one, dude. Just some weird shit. Like, literally, he died on 420, which, all right, we're going to have to roll that one into the next year's segment.
Man.
But no, like 2 days before that, he literally put out a video going, "Hey man, I'm in perfect mental health, not gonna kill myself," and then this dude dies. He's like the 13th person that's in line of like the UAP, alien scientist, anti-gravity, like all. There's a circle of these people that they aren't working on the same projects, but they're working on the same shit because like the government compartmentalizes everything, so you don't know what the fuck you're working on. But all these people are like UAP people. There's this, like the one bitch, the Amy chick, the scientist who got killed. I mean, she's obviously like trashed in the video. She's like hammered, talking shit, dude. She's like, it's like Shane Gillis's dad. Shout out, Joe. But she's just like drunk, talking, just like telling secrets, dude. So everybody's like, "Oh, she's just hammered." I'm like, dude, I never tell the truth unless I'm drunk, dude. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only time you can count on me being 100% honest with you. Gotta break down the barriers. Anyways, let's I mean, it's just weird, dude. It's like it's corner of the internet where like real events, half facts, UFO gossip get mashed together into like something that feels like a conspiracy smoothie, I guess, dude. And like for legal purposes, let me just say this clearly. This is allegedly, you know what I mean? Allegedly, absolutely do not connect to anything that's real.
As his Jewish lawyer, I made him start saying allegedly.
But dude, it starts with Wilcox, dude, the guy from Ancient Aliens, known for metaphysical UFO claims. Every time he goes quiet, people are like, "Oh, this moment, did he get killed? Is he dead?" So look, in this universe, like his silence becomes a spark that supposedly told people that he had found a pattern, dude. Like he figured something out. Then he like makes that weird, just elusive video saying, "Hey, totally fine, not gonna kill myself." 2 days later, this guy, killed himself. It's weird. But it's like, some people think like that's just like him doing Wilcox stuff. I don't think so, that's all. Like, in the real world, like, there is a UAP scientist cluster. Like, people online have been obsessing over this, dude. There's 13, if you include Wilcox, there's 13 people related to this that have like PhDs in physics,
What do you think
like,
that's all about? Because
I'm trying to get to it.
Found half of them, right?
No.
So.
I mean, the weird thing is like
dead,
5 of them have walked out of their house, left their cell phones, their wallets, and then they look at the cell phone, factory wipe on the cell phone. Do you know what I mean? And that's like a weird fucking pattern. And then the rest of them are just like, oh, my fucking Tesla slammed into a guardrail and shot me 80 feet out of the front window. Like they hacked the Tesla. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about the Clintons here. We're just just having fun.
But yeah, that's weird. That's got me baffled because,
Dude, look,
some.
Let me string it together for you before I get your reaction, okay? There's a real world UAP science cluster. There's Marconi engineers in the 80s, the Navy's weird Salvador Pais patients, the drone researchers who died of natural causes. I think they had something to do with Iran. Physicists who left the government quietly. A bunch of them. No connection between any of them, though. On paper. But in the conspiracy brain mode, dude, this shit makes a map, dude. You add the Epstein files into this. Dude, real sealed annexes, messy logistics. None of it has anything to do with aerospace. Just a bunch of scientists hanging out, dude. What are they doing? It's like it almost seems like a fictional narrative, but if you didn't know from the files, this shit is true. Like there's drones flying over, like in Iran. Have you ever heard the Iran drone that the US captured, which is like a fucking squid thing? You ever heard? Dude, okay, this shit goes super deep, dude. I'm probably losing Joe here, but anyways, let me just wrap it up, dude. Wilcox was not gonna go silent. There's a cluster of scientist deaths, a sealed annex on the Epstein files regarding the drones and the UAP shit. Like that's the other thing. Like they said, you got 3 million files. We've only got like 10% of the files. There's a bunch of Epstein UFO files that they're holding back, which is insane. And I'm not making this shit up. It's literally, you can search it. There's Epstein UFO files, dude. It has to do with the drone that I said that they fucking found in Iraq. Okay, but look, sum this up, dude. Together, they form what I'm calling is a gravity line, dude. It's a timeline where disclosure isn't about extraterrestrials. It's not about geopolitics. It's not about patents. It's about who gets to find reality first, dude. And I think that's why we're always at war, dude. And you have to. It's all full circle, dude. The wars are the aliens, are fucking demons, and then you look at just everything. You can't figure any of it out, dude.
I can't figure it out ever, Levi. That's for sure.
Oh, it's making my brain hurt just having this discussion.
Sorry, dude. That was a long rant.
No. I mean,
I had to get that out, though.
It's interesting, but it's just,
How do you know?
It's way beyond my ability to decipher. I mean, but like I said, I don't watch news. I just listen. I listen, then I say, okay, I'm calling bullshit on this, or this might be true. Let me check it. And that to me is the only way really you can, absorb the news. Because if you sit in front of a fucking television and watch or listen to shit on the radio or the internet all day long, it's like, especially now with AI.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, AI, I don't believe in any of the bullshit like the Terminator shit, but it is dangerous because of what they can do to replicate you. And,
And what they can make you think. I mean, they'll just lie to you and you'll go, oh, no, you just gave me misinformation. Like, I'll just give AI prompts sometimes to see how it'll lie. And they'll say, nope, that's wrong. And they'll say, oh, I see. And then they'll replug it in. Like, sometimes it'll be just for the sake of political correctness or identity politics. And it's like, really? Like, your job is to give me correct information, not, police my pronouns or tell me, it's really interesting how these things break down. Like, ask Grok how many genders there are. Or, like, ask Grok how many biological sexes exist, right? Like, it's not just gonna be like, well, there's male and female. It's like, scientifically, that's the truth, but,
God, I should have played this before I went on this rant. Like, when we just watch this video, and I'll fucking cut it before I went on that rant. Sorry. I get so excited when we get on the trail, dude.
Yeah, for real. You did too many clips this time, Levi. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I still have like 5 clips that we're never gonna watch on this episode.
He's got a backlog.
You know how I do it, dude. I literally spend fucking all Sunday.
I know. I'm just playing.
He hit me at like 5 o'clock. Like just to check in. I was literally already on.
If you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off. If you stick your neck out in private, they will bury you. They will burn down your house while you're sleeping in your bed, and it won't even make the news. That's why the Institute exists.
This is a very disturbing story, no matter how you look at it, regardless of what actually happened. Rest in peace, Amy. This is awful. I want to talk about something that she mentioned in her video there, which is if you have technology that could change the entire world, do you build that in public or do you build that in private? I'm working on a project here that could change the world. I'm not claiming it will. It could just be pseudoscience. It's called LENR. Back in 1989, cold fusion was written off as a fraud because it was tangled up with some religious stuff at a university in Utah and some funding issues and everything else. Fast forward to 2026, and people have still been researching anomalies associated with that whole topic, which is now called LENR, low energy nuclear reactions. Essentially what they're looking at is if you have hydrogen or deuterium, it can intrude a metal lattice. Okay, you've heard of hydrogen embrittlement, where hydrogen gets into the walls of a tank storing high pressure hydrogen, and then it cracks. And it's a problem for the hydrogen economy to ship hydrogen around the world. Forget about the Coulomb force for just 1 second and think about tunneling. We can explore the fact that hydrogen or deuterium will intrude a metal lattice and explore
that's pretty much the gist of
could
it.
be the result of that. That is how we...
But that's insane, isn't it? Like, the connections that you pull from, like, all... It's just...
I didn't know what the hell he was saying. That's too technical for me.
Oh, yeah, dude. Hey,
the video of Amy was interesting.
Yeah, let me talk more about Amy.
Yeah, I mean, when it switched to the other guy, it's like, but that's Amy. That's the hammered scientist chick.
Yeah. Oh shit.
That's who I was referencing earlier. It's like, she's obviously hammered, dude, but I still trust her. She's
Dude, whatever happened to like sexy lab assistants? Like that used to be a thing in movies. Like I always wanted.
They don't even do that in Marvel movies anymore.
Like, I wanted one when I grew up, and like now that's like sexist or something.
Dude.
I'm never. Even if I get famous, they're never giving me sexy lab assistants in a movie. So it's like, what's the point even? Like, what do you do it for then?
They might even take it so literally that you might get a sexy furry dressed up as a golden lab.
Ew.
Dude, that's Disney for you right now. That's
so
what they're doing.
gross.
What are you talking about? Disney.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy the shit going on. But again, as much research as you do and as much truth finding as you uncover, will you ever get to the bottom of it? I don't know. It's so layered. It's so, you get to a point where you think you're making headway and then you get to a stopping point.
Bro, can I drop a bomb on you guys real quick? This is just going to be, it'll be different. This is not good or bad. This is just science, dude. This is geek stuff. We should all three love this. Look, This is the theory. Humans evolved from a cyclops. Have you ever heard this one?
Why are we gonna love this?
Bro, dude. New evolutionary research suggests that human eyes and our entire sleep cycle can be traced back to bizarre cyclops-like creatures from 600 million years ago, dude. Unlike insects, whose eyes evolved from, like, their skin tissues, the vertebrate retina essentially is an extension of the brain and a detour in evolution that researchers say started with this single median eye, dude. Like, median, like, right in the middle. So, bro.
That's crazy.
If you believe in Nephilim, which are giants, in the Bible they wrote about, and then now you go like, let me put science with some written history. Cyclops, bro, everything is possible now.
Also,
dragons? We doing dragons? Okay, sorry.
Well, also,
I'm getting excited.
Does that change the fact that we once had tails, or is this?
Dude,
you're like confusing me. I mean, we evolved from the Cyclops, but at some point, did the Cyclops have a tail?
yeah, were they prehensile?
Well, do you think that the tail shrunk up and then they got the extra eye? Is that what?
Well, because it seems like you could be related to
only
monkeys,
have one eye and a tail,
or
if
you
you're-
could be
if
related
you're
to
a bipedal?
Cyclops.
What do we-
Both seems like a stretch.
No, it is wild. It is wild though to think that like all the other like the spider we were talking about, the fucking Pink Floyd spider, his eyes came out of his skin because he needed. That's why he has 36 eyes, dude.
Yeah.
Most spiders have shitload of eyes. Dude, ours, it came from one right here. Then we had predators, so we had to get them on the side, bro. Then that thing split, just like an amoeba, just.
Maybe, I don't know.
And then now, you know what I mean? I'm almost as smart as a crow, dude. And then you gotta evolve, dude.
Interesting.
You know, crows are like literally, if you go brain capacity versus volume of their body, they're like the smartest animals on the planet.
Did you just watch The Crow or something?
No, there's a crow that I fuck with all the time out here, and he dive bombs me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a smart motherfucker, dude.
Why do you think that indicates intelligence?
No, I mean, well, only because I know what crows are capable of. It's not that I've seen this crow do anything like that's exceptional.
Right, this one's kind of
but
pretty
I've
average.
also, no, I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos about crows and like seeing them get cats to fight each other on rooftops and suicide jumping over to get the other
Kamikaze
cat.
crows,
And then,
you might say.
yeah, dude.
Interesting.
But not even. They're MK Ultra crows, dude. They are fucking mind warping the cats into fighting each other and then killing
You think
themselves.
it's the crows that are behind things? They're sort of like the CIA.
Manchurian cats, dude. Manchurian candidates.
I love that you're fully.
That one worked out.
Right.
We got there.
I love that you're like Mickey Rooney
Back
schizophrenic at this point. Like, this is great. Just fully talking to mice.
Yeah, dude. I mean, where do you think that the whole squirrel bit from fucking Rick and Morty came from, dude?
Oh my god, dude.
I just like to think the stork brought me. That's as far back as I want to go.
Yeah, that's fair. Man.
What do you think about all of these presidential assassinations? Do you think they're related? The 3 attempts on Trump. You go back to JFK, RFK, MLK. Like all of these guys, none of them remember. Even like after JFK, like the Jack Ruby thing, like he doesn't remember shooting the guy. Like they've all been fucking whomped. And then you see like this new research coming out where like you can literally. Did you see the video of the guy controlling the bull? Like put a chip in the bull's mind, and he's literally like playing Nintendo with the bull.
No.
Dude, mind control is 100% real at this point with these chips and like synapses firing, dude. But what do you think about that? Do you think that the latest guy that ran into the White House committee dinner and tried to shoot that up, do you think that's... I think all of these guys are just like fucking mind controlled. They send a message to him, they go do some wild shit, and then they're like, what the fuck are you arresting me for, dude? And then Trump's like sitting there... This is gonna go viral, dude. Hitting the picture.
Well, it's no different than that when they activate the cells, they're just sitting here living their life, wouldn't have a clue, and
I
then
mean,
when
you
they
remember
get the
Sirhan
word,
Sirhan, right? The RFK Sirhan RFK.
I
You
don't
remember
even know.
the RFK assassination?
Oh, so again, I think we talked about this last time. I think JFK and RFK, I think they were that was the mob. That was the Giancana family. I really do believe that the Giancana family um, was pissed off that they got JFK elected because of the unions. And then, Bobby came in and started going after Hoffa and the mafia. And it's like, wait a minute, we own you. And let me show you how much we own you. And they took out JFK. And then when Bobby ran for president, they just said, oh, this is
So in
ridiculous.
that theory, do you think Bobby was the main antagonist to the mafia, and they took out his brother,
Yeah,
and then waited for him, and then took him out?
listen, Papa
That makes
Joe
sense
was
too.
Papa Joe was a
That tracks
criminal.
too.
Papa Joe was a big criminal.
Yeah.
Let me go. I'll take
Let's
it
go.
one step
Hey,
further as far as Vietnam. I think
Preach, brother,
that Papa
preach. Let's
Joe
go.
promised all of his, industrial war people that, hey, you make sure my son gets elected president, we'll get you into a war so you can make tanks and bullets and guns and blah, 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 blah. And because when you look at the rationale of why we got involved in Vietnam, you look back on that and you say it was the most ridiculous. We're worried about the spread of communism worldwide. What the fuck did the Vietnamese? Their spread never got out of Vietnam. It just and it was their country. We had no business being there. Nobody, it was a horrible, horrible war. Over 50,000 Americans died because Joe Kennedy promised a war to his buddies to get his son elected. I really believe there's something to that. And I believe that that the Giancanas were the ones that took out both JFK and Bobby.
The thing is that it's so good about this, and it makes it so great to talk about, is there's no definitive answers, dude, and there's so many possibilities, bro. You know what I mean? And then you mix in, like, once you put this into what you know about MK Ultra, what you know about the Epstein files, what you know about Cuba and JFK, how much Allen hated JFK, dude. Like, he fired him, and then he ended up coming back and then running the commission that did the investigation on his death, which is insane, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you're hiring you to defend or to do the inspection on you, dude. You know what I mean? Just fucking Alan Durst, just an insane person. But
if that Zapruder film never came out,
do you think
they would have covered this up so fast?
How many versions of the Zapruder film have you seen, dude? Have you seen?
I think it's the same one. It's
There's
the same
two.
one where he gets shot in the throat first, and then he gets shot in the head second.
Have you ever
It does
seen
seem
the
like it's
Annie
from different
Jacobson
angles.
Zapruder film? Have you ever seen the one that she literally got sent by somebody on his deathbed? She wrote a book about it, dude. And she literally says that the Zapruder film has been cut, and they take out the part where the Secret Service agent shoots him in the head, literally right behind him. They cut that part out, and then cut in the part where he gets hit in the throat, but you still see the back of his head exploding, and you can see there's a tree cut in half, and then all of a sudden the tree is on the other half. You know what I'm saying? So it's literally they spliced the film at that point. But she also was told that was Roswell a Russian, like a fake ass thing that they were doing where they had took kids, put them in a fake UFO, and like doctored their eyes and stuff to make them look like aliens, and then made them crash in Roswell to make it seem like there was aliens, so that the Russians could get ahead of us in the like the moon, like all the aerospace stuff, dude. It gets wild. Annie Jacobson's good. You You ever watch her shit? You ever read her stuff? Annie Jacobson?
But
Shit.
it's you know, it's interesting. I never heard that about the Zapruder film, about the editing and about the part about the secret. But I mean, if that never came out though, you wouldn't have known anything. They would have just said, okay, this is what happened. Boom, case closed. Well, you know, and it was Lee Harvey Oswald, and that was it. And okay, it made sense. But the fact that he was shot on the film twice from two different angles, it just opens up a huge can of worms, blows holes throughout the commission, their conclusion that it was just Lee Harvey Oswald, there was just one shooter. I don't see how. I mean, it was a moving car. It was a moving car, and it was from two different angles. It's not an angle that it would have come from the second shot, in a moving car. So, I don't know. You make my head hurt with this shit.
I know.
I mean, I really now, but it's fun. It's fun.
Speaking of stuff people don't know about, you guys hear about the original pitch meeting for the game Hungry Hungry Hippos? It was about like a squad of like German soldiers that get lost like in the jungles of Africa. These hippos are just ripping their squad apart. Like Hasbro's was like, we're trying to sell this to kids.
Look, there's zero hidden agenda in Hungry Hungry Hippos, okay? The game wasn't invented as a metaphor for hunting Nazis in Africa or anything else. It came from a Japanese toy designer in the 1970s, was later licensed by an American toy inventor, Milton Bradley, and they marketed it as a loud, goofy, marble-mashing kids game, not some coded historical commentary. Look, if someone is trying to turn pastel plastic hippos into a political allegory, that says more about you and your imagination than what's really going on in history, dude. Shame on you.
You make my head hurt with this shit.
I know.